All right, so we are just about ready to get started. Shelley and Kim, I'm so glad that you guys are here to join us tonight in sharing the information about seasonal affective disorder. I have a couple of housekeeping things that I'm going to do. I want to make sure that I get the Facebook Live up. So anybody who might want to watch this on Facebook is able to go ahead and do that. So that process is going on right now. Give me a half a second. I'm going to share it to my page, and I am going to share this to actually, this is actually going to go to my All About Spirit page. Now I'm going to send it to my personal page. Oh, I guess it's, wait, here we go. Yep. It's gonna, okay, hang on.
Technology.
There we go. Sharing it to my timeline. So you'll be able to grab it from my timeline if you want to rebroadcast this, Shelley. That's where you'll find it on my timeline.
I'm going to, and Kim, I want to add to that, anybody who is listening in tonight, this is really a very vital topic, and this is the right time of year for this topic to be heard. If you have people you know and love who struggle with this time of year, and we all have those people in our life, by all means, you don't need to send a message and say, hey, this is for you, but certainly share it on your Facebook page by going to Kim Rainer's Facebook page, click the little arrow, share it over to your news feed. And then if you want to take a couple people you love and care about, take them. But I think it's really important we get the word out right now when it's an important time of year for all of us to get this information. So thanks for doing that, Kim. And I'm going to do the same thing as well.
Absolutely. Thank you, Shelley. I appreciate it. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. And there we go. You should be able to see my screen right now. And on my screen should be Navigating Seasonal Affective Disorder. And I really appreciate you being here tonight, especially if you are someone who is affected by seasonal affective disorder, or if you care about somebody who is affected by SAD or seasonal affective disorder. And what we're going to talk about tonight is really, what it is, identify some of the symptoms, what the risk factors are. We'll talk about the diagnosis process and treatment, and offer some coping and support mechanisms and tools that you can put into place. And then also talk about supplementation, which is a big component of this. So the first thing that I want to do is share a little bit of some statistics. About 5% of the US population suffers or struggles with seasonal affective disorder. That translates to 10 million people who are diagnosed with SAD. And about 10 to 20% more than that 10 million are diagnosed with a mild case of seasonal affective disorder. And 4 out of 5 women actually are diagnosed. 4 out of the 5 people who are diagnosed with SADs are women. So you have a higher propensity, women, for being diagnosed with SAD just because you're a woman. So, what
Kim, I just wanted to share with you that it did not go live on Facebook. So I'm not sure if there was a one step miss, but I went to both of your pages and I didn't see it. So I hated to stop you, but I know there's probably people waiting for it. So
that's okay.
I want to try it one more time. And in the meantime, I can certainly, take up a little space here for everyone that is on Zoom with us, and appreciate you being here on Zoom with us, because, I realize that sometimes it's one extra step to be on Zoom, but the world we live in, right? People like the easy button. So the easy button tends to be Facebook Live. So it's now being live streamed. So that's fantastic, Kim. Thank you so much for going live on Facebook. And again, I just want to say, if you're seeing this, you're catching this, or love somebody who experiences seasonal affective disorder, by all means, grab it from Kim's page, share it over to your newsfeed, tag people that you know and love who might be experiencing this. Sorry to interrupt, Kim, but thank you so much. Oh no, we lost Kim Rainer. We lost Kim Rainer. There she is. Okay, just make sure and unmute yourself, Kim.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
All right. So are we still on Facebook Live?
We are on Facebook Live. It's all good, being recorded. Yes.
Okay, sounds good. So let me just go ahead and open the presentation again. And what are you seeing on your screen right now?
We're seeing you, Kim.
You see me?
You, Kim Rainer. Yes.
Okay. So I am trying to, there we go. There we go. All right. So this
Perfect.
proves that anybody can do this. You don't have to be an expert with technology. You just have to be supported by people who know and love you and who are really tolerant of when things happen and we make mistakes. So here we are back again talking about what is seasonal affective disorder. And it really is, it's a kind of depression that is recurring from season to season. It happens kind of in a cyclical basis. And there's some pretty specific criteria for being diagnosed with seasonal affective disorder, or S.A.D. And I'm going to call it S.A.D for the rest of the presentation, just because it's easier to say. And in order to be diagnosed, you have to meet a full criteria for a major depression. So it's not just, oh, I don't feel so good in fall. There's really a whole criteria that you have to meet. It can coincide with specific seasons. And part of that criteria is you have to experience the cyclical pattern for at least 2 years. So you have to go through a winter, summer pattern to have that be actually a S.A.D diagnosis. And it, most frequently it happens, it certainly happens more than situational depression or something like that. So as we walk through the process today, seasonal affective disorder happens for most people in late fall and in early winter. And it'll go away for most people in the spring or in the summer. But it's not the only way that that happens. Sometimes it actually flips around for people. It's less common for it to be in the summer, where somebody will get affected by S.A.D in the summer, but it does happen for them. It does happen for people that way sometimes. And the symptoms might start out mild and then become more severe as time goes on. So those are some of the things that you would look for as you're saying, well, gosh, is this depression? Is it S.A.D? Is it cyclical? How does this affect me? So paying attention to that kind of thing. And, watching, do the symptoms get worse as time goes on? So when we talk about symptoms, what exactly are we talking about? Well, it could be that you are depressed for most of the day, almost every day. It could be that you are losing interest in your activities, the things that you used to enjoy doing, that you're just not interested in that anymore. And then that you have low energy, that you recognize that your energy gets depleted as time goes on. You might have problems sleeping. You might be sluggish. You might feel grumpy or agitated. You might have difficulty concentrating. You could have a feeling of worthlessness or hopelessness and feeling guilty about feeling hopeless and worthless. Oftentimes people will experience thoughts of death and thoughts of suicide. And you might experience changes in your appetite and in your diet. And when you listen to that list, or you go through that list, you hear that list, it's like, yeah, that could be depression anytime. The piece that you need to pay attention to is this cyclical for you? Does this happen in the fall and go away in the spring, right? So you want to pay attention to that. So some of the risk factors, which was really surprising for me as I started doing the research for this, is if you're female, the distance that you are from the equator. Now, we're north of the equator, but people south of the equator have the same experience because the daylight and nightlight ratio flips, right? They experience that same thing. If you have a family history of S.A.D, if you have a family history of bipolar or depression, if you have these symptoms at a younger age, these are all risk factors for S.A.D. So the diagnosis process of S.A.D can be difficult. It can be challenging. But if you have it, the chances are you know that you have it. So a typical process is you would go to a doctor or a mental health professional, and they would do a physical exam, and they're going to ask you a whole series of questions about your health. And in some cases, they're going to identify that depression might be linked to something else, but they're going to ask you a whole bunch of tests. Sometimes they'll do blood work. They may do something called a CBC. They'll test your thyroid, and they'll test your hormones, and they'll test all sorts of different things. They may do a psychiatric evaluation to find out if there's other signs of depression, or if there's other thoughts or feelings or behavior patterns that are attached to this. So really, this is a serious issue. So you really want to make sure that you're paying attention and getting good information all the way around. And they're going to go through a whole battery of questions for you. You're going to ask you, what are your symptoms? When did your symptoms start? Have they been continuous, or are they just occasional, right? So they're going to go through a whole series of questions for you. And then there probably is going to be conversation about medication that they're going to ask you about. So in medicine, what we call Western medicine, right? That's allopathic medicine. Oftentimes they're going to prescribe antidepressants as the treatment, especially if your symptoms are severe. I am not a doctor. Shelley's not a doctor. Kim's not a doctor. We don't pretend to be doctors. We're not going to talk about medication in that context, but just be aware that that is the process that many doctors will use. They may start recommending treatment before your symptoms actually start if you've been identified with SAD. They may talk about psychotherapy to identify, what are some of the thoughts and patterns that you're experiencing? Are there things that make you feel worse? Are there things that you can do to avoid certain behaviors, right? And there's certain things that you can do to prepare for your appointment. And these are things that I would just recommend that you do, right? You make a list. And this next slide, this is actually a screenshot moment. This is a list of things that you would want to ask your doctor, right? Or that you want to be prepared to talk to you about. What are your symptoms? What else might be causing your symptoms? When do they happen? Look at the patterns and really pay attention to these things. So make a list of these kind of issues. And then some of the questions that you're actually going to ask your doctor, and this is going to be a screenshot moment too, right? They're going to ask you, are my symptoms likely caused by SAD, or could they be due to something else, right? What's the best treatment, right? And you want to be prepared when you go into your doctor's appointment, because this is a serious illness, and you want to treat it like a serious illness. So these would be screenshot moments, so you're prepared when you go and start to have a conversation with a medical professional. So I'm going to start talking about some of the things that happen to us as a result of SAD. And it really is, the specific cause is not actually known yet. We don't know what causes it. We do know that there are some factors that consistently, they play a role in SAD. One of them is the circadian rhythm, or it's kind of like your biological clock. When it's winter onset SAD, they believe that it's the reduction of the level of sunlight that we have that causes it to kick in. The decrease in sunlight, it interrupts the body's internal clock, and that can lead to depression. And every organism that's living on the planet actually has that biological clock, and it too is impacted by sun. So it's not just people that have an impact for that. So people who have SAD, they may have trouble regulating their neurotransmitters, and serotonin is the transmitter that is involved in mood. And people who are diagnosed with SAD, there's one study that says that they actually have 5% more serotonin transporter protein in their blood in the winter months than they do in the summer months. And that actually has an impact. So there's physiological things that happen to us that cause us to have the reactions that we have. So the transporter function is to be able to recycle the neurotransmitter serotonin. When that's not working the way it's supposed to be, it causes problems for us. So melatonin overproduction can be a problem, and vitamin D deficiency is a huge problem. And we're going to talk about some of those things. So there are complementary things that you can do to navigate the process of SAD. You can absolutely do relaxation techniques like yoga and Tai Chi to help regulate your body. You can engage in meditation, which helps calm your central nervous system. You can do guided meditation or guided imagery meditations. And if you go to YouTube, there is a whole host of information out there that you can log on to and tap into for free. You can listen to music. There is scientific evidence that piano music and guitar music can help with mood and help alter mood. You could do art therapy, and light therapy is actually something that the medical community actually recommends for people. Having a full spectrum light available to you is something that's really helpful. So there are also a lot of coping strategies that you can use, taking care of yourself, making sure that you're getting enough sleep so you feel rested, but being careful not to get so much sleep that you end up oversleeping and then you're lethargic all the time, right? So our SAD symptoms can sometimes lead us to want to hibernate. So making sure that you're participating in a balanced way in the world, getting exercise, not only just resting, but getting exercise, and, making sure that you are practicing good stress management techniques. making sure that you're not overeating, making sure that you're eating healthy foods, making sure that you're filling your mind with good, healthy thoughts, socializing, having plans with people, having things that you're scheduled to go do with other people. It can be hard to make social plans, but making sure that you're doing that. Planning a trip in the time that your SAD is impacted, planning a trip during that time to get you out of town. And then as you make your plan, making a commitment to stick to your plan and having people that you commit to checking in with and touching base with who are part of your network. Also, making sure that you have lifestyle and home remedies available to you. There's simple things that you can do, making sure that you open your blinds in your house, making sure that you sit in your windows or you sit in your skylights, making sure that you go outside, hang out in the park, go eat lunch in the park, sit on a bench. And you can do that even on cloudy days. Vitamin D, the outdoor light, it helps with your mood and helps with your attitude even on cloudy days. Getting exercise on a regular basis. We know scientifically across the board, physical activity helps relieve stress, it relieves anxiety, and it can help those things increase your SAD symptoms. So taking exercise and relieving those things is going to help deplete your SAD symptoms. Making sure that you're physically fit helps you feel better about yourself. And when you feel better about yourself, that helps lift your mood too. So we're going to talk about supplementation next. And a lot of times people will say, oh, do I really need to supplement as I'm walking through this process? Is this really necessary? And I'm going to say that supplementation used to be a luxury, but it is absolutely a necessity today because of our growing environment for food, because the way food is delivered to us. We cannot get enough nutrients from our diet to be able to have a healthy, well-rounded physical body. So we're going to start our conversation with talking about vitamin D, because vitamin D is the sunshine vitamin, and that is a vitamin that your body does not make. And every cell in your body has a receptor for vitamin D. It has a huge role in the serotonin activity. When your vitamin D is depleted, we know that it relates to depression. It has so many other health benefits too. It helps with cardiovascular support, with the immune health. It helps with bone health. So vitamin D is an all-around great product. And Kim Robinson actually is going to share. She has a story to tell about vitamin D. So Kim, I'm going to ask you if you'd be willing to share your testimony on vitamin D right now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You're doing a great job, Kim, too. And thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you for being here.
These are fun. Absolutely. Yeah, personally, I suffered pretty much my entire life with the seasonal affective disorder. The whole depression symptoms, as Kim mentioned before, just the being lethargic and just sad, not as much daylight, all of that kind of stuff. So I was introduced to the vitamin D as Shelly's actually the one that's joining us tonight. She actually introduced me to that. And everyone was saying on all of the benefits of that with seasonal depression. So I gave it a try, and I started about October, started taking the supplement. And before I knew it, all of a sudden it was March, and it dawned on me one day that it was like, oh my gosh, I just sailed through winter, and that never happens for me because I'm sunny and 85 girl, 366 days a year. Okay. So I noticed I went through that winter feeling absolutely fine. I wasn't teary-eyed. I wasn't just moping around. And lo and behold, come through about the end of the summer, I let myself run out of my vitamin D and didn't take it all faithfully like I had been doing. And all of a sudden, after a while, I caught myself moping around, all teary-eyed, didn't really care too much about anything. And I was like, well, wait a minute, is it that vitamin D or is this just a coincidence? So I quickly ordered some more of the vitamin D, started taking it again faithfully, and easily within about 4 days, I felt all of the weight come off my shoulders and my mood just really started lightening up. It's when I was sold. So it's like one huge thing is when taking these supplements is if you don't really feel them working because it can be such a mellow increase in what it's doing for you, go off of it for a while. And then you're going to really see how it was affecting you and you didn't even realize it. So I'm never without my vitamin D anymore. It really keeps my mood up, and I can sail through my winters without being all moopy anymore. So mm,
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Kim. And I have shared that story with so many people so many times. And I'm so glad that it has the impact on you and so many other people that it does, because it can
yep,
be a really easy fix. So thank
yep,
you.
huge impact. You're welcome anytime. Thank you.
Thanks. So next I want to talk about a supplement called the omega-3s. And omega-3s have a huge impact on mood. And I'm going to actually invite Shelley to talk a little bit about her experience with the omega-3s.
Kim, I appreciate this because, when you talked about the topic tonight, number one, when you say seasonal affect disorder, I think in the last couple of years, the season has grown longer for a lot of people. And I think we all know those people that suddenly it's like, what happened? Why are you suddenly so sad? And even they can't explain it. However, when it comes to omega-3, this is my go-to product for anybody throughout the year that is experiencing any type of sadness, depression, maybe it's mental and emotional instabilities. I've seen scientific studies on bipolar, aggression, repeat offenders. I'm fascinated by all of it. So I'm going to encourage everyone, do some research on it. It's remarkable when you look into it. For myself personally, I've had many testimonies over the years, so it has become my go-to for most clients who are experiencing anything with mood. The first was actually my son. When he was 9 years old, like many parents now who have come to me with 9-year-olds, and for some reason, oftentimes males, about that age, he just suddenly was displaying symptoms and signs of what I would call a very, very aggressive OCD. Very compulsive decisions, fearful, living in fear, and doing things that just suddenly, I mean, we went from normal child, I don't even like that word. We went from a child that was behaving the way you would expect a 9-year-old to be behaving to all of a sudden a child that was scared to death each day of hurting someone. And I said immediately, okay, I need to take a step back. And I realized most people, there's fear involved here because it's your child. There was some fear, I'll be honest. Yet I'm well educated in wellness. And I stepped back and I thought, okay, he's taking a good multivitamin. He's taking a good isotonic. They're in the isotonic forms, OPC3. So I knew he had something crossing the blood-brain barrier. What is my child deficient in? And I suddenly thought the myelin sheath, the protector of the cell, the thing that helps messages move back and forth between neurons in the body, omega-3. But I realized, Kim, omega-3s, there's a lot of studies done. There has to be a certain amount of EPA and DHA for it to even have an effect, whether it be inflammation or mental and emotional health. And I am telling you, he would tell you today, I say 3 days in with him taking just 2 of these capsules a day. We now have a liquid for children who can't swallow capsules, but he did it because it was worth it. Within 3 days, I felt like he was just grounded again, balanced again. Thought processes were back on track. And I had the same major effect with an adult male with ADHD. Worst case of ADHD I had witnessed personally. And it was within 5 days, he wrote me and said, I have not been able to focus for more than minutes my entire life since I can remember. And he had spent 5 days. He was a website designer. He had spent 5 days absolutely focused. He said it was the quality, because he said, I've dumped omegas down my throat for this quality omega-3 because the science is there and it's so pure and potent and it's clean and it's got the EPA and DHA required. So I could go on and on about this product, but this is a good place for people to start because most people are familiar with fish oil.
Thank you, Shelley. I so appreciate it. I appreciate you sharing the information and the testimonial about that as well. And omega-3s have so many other benefits. They work with cholesterol and blood pressure and a whole host of other things. So along with the mood issues that Shelley talked about, there's so many other benefits to it. So one of my favorite products that I really like to talk about is something called Bliss. When I kind of described some of the symptoms of S.A.D, it talked about the lethargy, but it also talked about the anxiety and stress. And Bliss is one of those products, it's an adaptogen, so it really will help you, it'll help your body to relax without causing you to feel drowsy. It also helps to regulate the serotonin and dopamine levels, which is one of the things that they believe is a contributing factor to what goes on in SAD. It is a mood stabilizer. It helps the body adapt to stress, and it also helps with mental clarity. So this is really one of my favorite products. This is a great product to use if you have just stress in your life that is kind of, you just have stress that's going on in your life. And it's like, okay, I just need a little something to help me navigate through this process. This is a great product. I really appreciate this one. So the next two products I'm going to talk about are actually, well, Shelly is going to talk for us about turn up and turn down. So Shelly, I'm going to just go ahead and put all this stuff on the screen here, because sometimes I just do things funny. Okay, I'll let you go ahead and talk about turn up.
Thanks, Kim. And I'm grateful to have the opportunity to talk about this product. And one of the guests actually became a client who now actually cares enough about other people that she has offered this product to several other people. Amy Mott is on with us tonight. And she was one of the most remarkable testimonies on this product. It was the first product that Amy and I talked about that she tried because of things like just not feeling good about the day, not feeling like going about the day. What's going on here? Why do I feel like I'm in a slump? And we obviously all know drinking your water, getting good sleep, eating a balanced meal, exercising and meditation, they come first. In addition to what could we do to help balance? And I think really what Amy noticed most was mental clarity, focus. Her energy was back. She said, suddenly I don't feel like I need that afternoon nap. I'm going to encourage anyone who is feeling again, like there's just this mood thing going on. It's almost unexplainable, or suddenly I'm so fatigued, I'm so exhausted. This is an extremely natural way to be able to turn up the neurotransmitters, raise the dopamine a little bit. And I'm also going to encourage people who struggle with reaching maybe for food in an emotional situation, sometimes reaching for just a good supplement and having that to drink and supporting the body naturally is a better route to go for those people. So this was one that, and I'm sure Amy can throw it in the chat as well, but great testimony with her, great testimonies with myself as well with this one.
Thanks, Shelly. I really appreciate that. And, you know, turn down, which is it's a complementary product for the other end of the spectrum, right? If you have the anxiety and the stress, calm down is also an adaptogen, which helps promote the calmness and the relaxation. And it helps you have a better quality of sleep. It helps with cognitive health if your mind is in that racing place. And it also has antioxidant production. And one of the things I really like about this product is it comes in these really handy little packets. So I can take this and open it up and pour it in 8 ounces of water, no matter where I am. And it's super easy and convenient to use. So I really like that product for that reason. So the next thing that I want to talk about is really the big guns for me. This is Adrenal, Cortisol, Thyroids, and Stress Support Formula. It's called ACT. That's the acronym for it. This is a product that really helps us be able to handle stress. It helps us be able to handle and stabilize our emotional response. It also has benefits with weight gain and sleep problems, and it helps promote healthy hormone levels. And this is a product, it is part of our weight loss line, but it is so beneficial for so many other things. I have personally been in a very stressful situation for a long period of time. I come from a family that has a history of depression. I have a history of suicide in my family as a result of depression. And I know that when I am under stress for too long, I have got to do something to level that out, because stress that's kept in your body, not only is it stressful for your body, but it creates other kinds of problems long down the road. If you don't deal with that stress, the energy from it's going to go somewhere. So this is a product that I absolutely would not be without. I take it when I'm in high levels of stress because there's a lot going on situationally in my life. Bliss is the product that I use when things aren't quite as stressful. But I'm using one of those two things just to help with the depression and the stress of things that goes on. So the next product that I want to talk about for supplementation is the multivitamin with iron. This product, it helps with circulation. It helps maintain your normal metabolic function. It helps with your heart system, and it helps convert food to energy, which is really important, right? Those are all things that are necessary. Your body is one organism. It's got a homeopathic way of doing things. It has a homeostasis and it has a balance. And this multivitamin helps your body be able to operate at peak performance. And it's in that isotonic form that Shelley talked about earlier. And isotonic means that it's at the same pressure that your body normally, that the cells in your body normally function at. So when you mix this product, if you take this little white capful full of that and mix it in 2 ounces of water and you drink it, your body absorbs that supplement at 90 to 98% efficacy in 5 to 10 minutes. That's a big deal because it's not so important what you take. It's really more important, what is your body absorbing? So if you're taking supplements that your body can't figure out how to break down and use, that's not helpful in this product. And the products that I'm talking about tonight, these are all products that are scientifically evidenced to be able to be absorbed by the body in the most effective and most in the most effective way. So that really is why I align myself with these particular supplements. The next product that I want to talk about is vitamin B. Most people know vitamin B as, the mood vitamin. It is proven as well to help improve the mood. We know that it manages and helps maintain serotonin levels in the body, and serotonin has a huge role in S.A.D. It's known to help increase energy. It might help protect the telomeres, which are those little long chain things at the end of our amino acids. Those are the things that cleave off that impact the aging process. It helps with DNA integrity and stability, and it helps with cognitive performance. I would not be without this supplement for any reason at any time. And if you struggle with depression, I would absolutely put this into your regimen and have this be one of the products that you're using on a regular basis. So the next product, the last product that I want to talk about here, and I really, when I picked the products, when I selected the products that I was going to talk about here, it's really hard to pick and choose because we have a sleep product that can help, and we have so many supplements that can help with so many different things. But because S.A.D affects women more than men, the last product I chose to talk about is something called Women's Health. Women's Health comes in these same handy little packets that Turn Up and Turn Down does, where you literally you rip open the packet, you mix it in 8 ounces of water, and this supplement helps with cognitive health. It is a full body antioxidant protector. It helps to normalize your cell health, which means that your body is able to do what it innately knows how to do without you having to try and figure that stuff out. And it also helps with lots of other women things, right? Bones, joints, health, teeth, all of that kind of stuff. Cardiovascular health. It helps with muscle and nerve function. And all of that is part of what contributes to depression. So I absolutely love this product, and I love the convenience of it as well. So that's the last product I'm going to talk about today, but I want to invite you to just have a conversation about a couple of other things. If you are interested in, okay, what is the way that I could supplement my body? We have something called a product symposium that's coming up this weekend. And if you reach out to whoever invited you here, we are happy to get you information on how you can join that. You can learn about the different products to use for different things, because so many times when we look at our body, we are overlapping. It's not that I just have depression, it's that I have this, and this, and there's a relational thread that goes between those things. And when we start giving our body the tools it needs to heal itself, our body can do miraculous things. And I say that because I am a stage 3C ovarian cancer survivor. And in 2007, I was told to get my affairs in order. And I have been using these supplements for the last couple of years, and my life has changed so much because I'm finally able to give my body the tools it needs to be able to do what it already knows how to do on its own. So, next steps would be, get more information from the person who invited you tonight. Try some product, and, whoever invited you to this event, ask them for some samples. We have a lot of products that we offer free samples on, and I know you can reach out to me. I will offer you a 10% discount for just attending this event. If you reach out to me, I will give you a code to be able to do that. And I'm sure if you ask the person who invited you, they would be willing to do that as well. And if you want to have a private consultation about your specific situation, because I know that depression and health issues are you know, they're intimate and they're personal. So if you want to reach out and have a private conversation with one of us, you can feel free to do that. You can send me a private message on Facebook, reach out to the person who invited you here. Just don't sit in it by yourself. Don't try to walk through the process on your own. You are absolutely not alone. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. And there's lots of us who really want to be able to help you in this process. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you for Kim for being here and sharing your story. And yeah, I look forward to having conversations with many of you. So thanks for being here tonight.
Great job, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.